operate over 85 properties in 20 countries.
There are so many good hospitality brands. What separates a good one from a truly iconic one?
Everybody can open a hotel, buy the same bed, design the same room. These things can be copied. The things that you cannot copy is the way the staff is going to interact with you, the type of experiences that you're going to offer, and how you're going to make people feel. So we spend a tremendous amount of time just thinking about that. What do I need to do to make sure that the guests that are getting through the doors are leaving with memories? So it's about creating those unique moments that will stay in people's mind forever.
I love that answer. You focus on the subjective elements, the feelings, the experiences, rather than the objective elements. Met, Social Living Collection, Somos, Sushi Samba, Black Tap, Goldfish, Isola Restaurant, Azure Beach, Amos, Drift Beach, or a Sky Pool. It's a lot.
Yeah. We were touching the customer for 2 hours in a restaurant, then we started having them for 4 hours in a nightclub, then we started having them for 6 hours in a beach club, and now they're with us 24 hours
locked
in the hotel.
In 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah. What I struggle to wrap my head around is the scale and speed at which you guys have done this without seemingly any compromise on quality. In 2024 alone, you guys expanded from 50 venues to 85. How do you manage that scale so quickly without compromising on quality? Well, Chris, thanks for joining the podcast.
Thanks
and
for
coming
me
on to Truth Central. So, obviously, you are the executive director of Sunset Hospitality Group. Would love for you to explain a bit about what you do, who you are. Over to you.
Okay, amazing. So, like you said, I'm currently the executive director for Sunset Hospitality Group. I am part of the hotels and resorts division. So the way the group is set up and how things are divided, it's a company that was founded 13 years ago by a Spanish individual and a Lebanese Canadian partner, and together they had the vision to create this lifestyle hospitality group. And initially they were very focused on creating dining experiences mainly here in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
So this was at the very, very early stages of the company, and then you fast forward 13 years later, and we operate over 85 properties in 20 countries. So
how many years?
The company in 13 years,
13 years.
13, yeah. So very, very exponential growth. The vision is still the same, providing hospitality lifestyle experiences, to the lifestyle customer. So the vision is to create this ecosystem of lifestyle experiences around that customer that enjoys this particular style of dining, entertainment, hotel, and so on. And what I found also very interesting is that if you look at the evolution of the company and how things started, initially we were in the restaurant business. But then after that, there's been a transition to the more of the nightlife business, or let's say the clubs and the dinner shows and so on. After that came the beach clubs,
Yeah.
right, and then after that came the hotels. So it's almost like we were touching the customer for 2 hours in a restaurant, then we started having them for 4 hours in a nightclub, then we started having them for 6 hours in a beach club, and now they're with us 24 hours
locked
in the hotel.
in 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then in the hotel, we utilize this as a space to be able to plug in all of our restaurant brands, all of our beach club brands, and really create those unique experiences that we know very well how to do. And because we come from a background of food and beverage and entertainment, we are very, very strong in comparison to some other hotel groups at delivering those experiences to the highest possible standard. And this is what kind of differentiates our hotel brand, which is called Met, to the other hotel brands that are in the market.
Yeah. What I struggle to wrap my head around is the scale and speed at which you guys have done this without seemingly any compromise on quality. I mean, you mentioned 13 years, 85 properties, 23 countries. In 2024 alone, I'm going to have to check my notes for this, you guys expanded from 50 venues to 85, from 16 countries to 23. Now, how do you manage that scale so quickly without compromising on quality?
I mean, this is a question that get asked very often to the founders, right, and then to the CEO and the rest of the team. And what they always say is that first you have to stabilize the business in a destination, and when you start doing quality. So for us, it's here in the region, right? Everything has been for many years very much focused on Dubai and the GCC region. But things have been done so well here that there is very, very strong process. There is a very, very strong team of people that are based here and that understand, the direction of the business. So the way that this is growing and the way that we are managing to maintain quality is because the core,
Yeah.
which is the Dubai base of the business, gets spread in a very natural way abroad as well. So even though you move into a country where you have different regulations, different needs from the clients, we're in Asia right now because we have 2 hotels opening in Singapore. We have opened a sushi samba in Singapore as well.
Oh, congrats.
We are in Europe. We have businesses in London. We have businesses in Milan. We have businesses in Barcelona, in Marbella. We're in Turkey. So the reason why this works so well is because the same vision is being translated and sent to all of those other destinations, and the leaders that are there also have an understanding of that. So it's really about the people.
So the leaders there are from pre-existing team members that were based in Dubai.
So either they have worked here before,
Okay.
right? Or they have been appointed, as head of the regions for the different divisions, but they have an understanding of how things are done here.
Okay.
So this really goes and translates very well in different destinations, and we are managing to maintain the quality. On top of this, when Dubai is in low season, most of the other regions are in high season.
Yeah.
So you also have the capacity to send your core teams from here, put them into the hotels or the restaurants abroad.
Awesome. And can you share a bit about your journey in luxury hospitality and what led you to your current role?
Of course. I always knew that I wanted to be into the field of hospitality because I grew up in a family that was always very hospitable, and I was always in the kitchen, whether it was with my grandmother or with my mother or with any other member of the family. So I was brought up from a very, very young age within that kind of environment.
So sorry to interject. So hospitality wasn't something that you found yourself finding later on in life?
I knew from the get-go.
Day one. Okay.
What I didn't know is what I would do in hospitality.
But you knew you had to.
But I knew I was going to be in that because I was always interested in the field of like anything related to kitchen and cooking. I always loved that. But that was more of a personal pleasure from a very, very young age, and it's still one of my hobbies now. Like I still love to do that. I love to explore, going out, dining, cooking, having people over all the time. It's something that really, really excites me. And growing up, because this was such an important part of my life, when it was time to decide what to do, later and what to study, my mind was already set. I'm going to go to a hotel school. I'm going to learn hospitality. I'm going to take some classes, learn how to become a chef and so on. But as the years went by, I very quickly realized that there were so many other things to explore within that field than just being, let's say, in a kitchen. And as much as I love cooking, I also always had that fear that if I do it as a day-to-day job, am I actually gonna either get bored of it or get, disgusted by it in a sense?
Fair
so
enough.
I'd much rather have it as a hobby and do something else within the field. And this is where I decided to move more into the hotel side of things, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one year watching TV with my parents, sitting in the living room. We were in France back in the days, and I see this documentary about Burj Al Arab, how it was being built and so on. And I remember telling them, one day I'm going to go and I'm going to work here. And first job I landed when I came to Dubai was to work for Jumeirah Group. And I worked for 7 years for Jumeirah Group. And my last tenure was inside the Burj Al Arab. My office was in Burj Al Arab. So it always was something that stayed at the back of my mind. And I guess I just wished this would happen. Exactly. And it just happened. And that was fantastic, because when you're very, very young and you have those dreams, to actually see them happen is an amazing thing, It was for me kind of like a natural evolution to end up in hospitality. And I said I want to be more into let's say the commercial side of things rather than the day-to-day operation. And this is a lot of what I do now.
Yeah, and you were obviously at Jumeirah Group, as you mentioned. When exactly did you join? You must have joined in quite the formative, critical years. No?
I was here. I joined in 2012.
Okay.
So I've been in Dubai since then.
Yeah.
And the company was very, very strong already, especially in Dubai itself. I think as a hotel company, they were very strong locally. They had some hotels abroad as well, but it was a fantastic school and an amazing journey, because when you're working for assets that are so luxurious, you get to learn a lot. and it's a very big company as well. I think at the time there were 15,000 employees worldwide, and
Yeah.
just in Marina Jumeirah alone we were about 4,000 people. So it's like it's almost like managing a very, very, very big company, and you're talking about only one hotel. So you get to learn a lot, the people you meet, the interactions you have with the guests, the type of marketing that you do, because you have a lot of resources and so on. So it was an amazing journey to do this to be able to do this for 7 years. And then I joined Sunset, and had the opportunity to create and launch the Met brand. So this was another journey, another chapter of my life that has been nothing short of amazing so far, for sure.
Yeah, I want to talk about Met, but before we get there, I want to just ask you something about digital marketing. So you have quite an experience on the marketing front or element of the business.
Yeah.
How have you seen digital marketing strategies evolve in this industry over the years? And what are you guys doing to keep up with the evolving trend or situation?
Yeah. It's an interesting landscape when you look at it overall, right? And I kind of fell into it by mistake in a way.
Yeah.
So before I moved to Dubai, I had the opportunity to go and work in London. So after I finished with my hotel school, I ended up going to work for the Intercontinental in London on Park Lane, and it was a very short tenure. It was like a 5-month internship type of thing, and I remember going there with the ambition to work into the sales department, because I was more into commercial things. But then when I got there, they said, in such a short period of time, what are you going to do? By the time you build up the contacts, you get to sell things, you're not going to really understand anything. So, but there is this thing called social media that we are hearing about a lot, but we don't really know what it means. Imagine this is Intercontinental in 2009, 2010.
Wow.
So these are the very, very early days of social media and what it meant for a hotel company to kind of like enter that landscape. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll just take on the challenge, and I'll try to learn about that. And obviously we're from a generation where it's easier for us than for our parents to understand how this works, right? Still until today, you find yourself trying to explain to your mom or dad, what's iCloud, how do you synchronize this and that. So it was very, very early stage, but because I had that experience, then every single job I landed after that was in that field. And this has been a massive part of my experience. I've spent, maybe more than 10 years focusing on digital marketing, managing different level of budgets and so on. And I really saw the landscape evolve, because after London, went to Abu Dhabi, also with Intercontinental, also to launch social media platforms and to do more community management and e-commerce and so on. And now you look at the world of AI, you look at how important content is compared to what it was then. I mean, what we used to design then and post compared to what we do now, the level of curation that there is today compared to what it was before is crazy. Like Instagram was created to basically post photos of your food, put a filter. It was for bad photographers in a way.
Yeah.
And I take a photo, put a filter, make it look pretty, post it, and everybody thinks you're great at taking photos. Look at what's happening with content today. The amount of time, the amount of resources that is being put into that industry is crazy. I mean, you must know that from what you're involved to as well. It's absolutely crazy how it has changed.
No, definitely. And social media, in my opinion, is no longer social media. Like, we got into those platforms to consume information and media from friends, people that we know. Now with Reels, most of the content that we see are either from brands or people that we don't know personally. So
Right.
it's kind of information media. You follow news channels, and the social part of it is the minority
Absolutely.
amount of time that you spent.
I agree.
So it's evolved a lot. And you mentioned AI. I'm curious, has Sunset Hospitality Group started integrating AI? Is that something that's being integrated in the hospitality industry, or it's too early?
I don't think it's too early. I think it's a boat that you have to jump on. I think that the sooner people do it and accept it, the better it's going to be. I think that as well there is within our business a very big advantage in using AI. If you just look at the business of, let's say, restaurants and how we manage some of the businesses that we have, if you start utilizing AI to your advantage to understand things related to stock management, things related to other part of the business where the speed at which information gets computed can support you, then why not use it? At the end of the day, it would be silly to not take advantage of such a powerful tool just because you feel you can do it better yourself. I think that if it is managed well, and if it is integrated within the existing landscape that you have, you can, with a very, very small adjustment, make a massive difference for the business.
So yeah,
we're looking into that.
Yeah, so you can improve efficiency a lot.
Totally.
Eliminate human error.
Correct. You can improve analysis. You can run reports. You can write. In the world of marketing, we can do so much with it. Copywriting is a great thing. Not everybody is a native English speaker.
Yeah.
There is a lot of translator tools that are not that efficient when you think about it. You think at a website now, you can almost translate an entire website just using AI. So you're saving on resources, but at the same time you're also able to provide a faster turnaround and sometimes better quality even.
Yeah,
I was reviewing something with the team today. They were showing me some AI animated images, and I was in shock with what I was seeing, because it looked like it was just like real, just from a photo. Being able with a 3-hour render to be able to animate all that was insane to see that.
It's nuts. And what's scary is that with AI, we're only on the beta version.
100%.
We're on the iPhone 1 of iPhone 16.
Exactly. This is only the beginning. Yeah.
It's scary. There's going to be a lot of good and a lot of bad that comes out of AI, I feel. Well, I want to talk about COVID, because that must have been an incredibly challenging, period for most of us, most people.
Yeah.
The hospitality sector was definitely one of the industries that was the hardest hit. Can you dive into how you guys navigated COVID?
Yeah. The company has done a fantastic job, and the leader have handled this with so much care and respect for the people that nobody has been impacted anywhere close to what they could have been impacted if the management was different. What happened for us was obviously difficult, because you are in the business of people, you're in the business of interactions, and interactions are stopped completely. People can't leave their houses, and you're not able to deliver that experience, that lifestyle experience anymore. So all businesses had to close down, right? So this means that the same thing happens to cash flow and to revenue. But the way first of all the city of Dubai has handled it was extraordinary when you compare it to some of the other big cities in the world. So for us, the impact was a little bit more limited as a city, because we managed to get out there sooner than any of the other big major capitals in the world. And on top of this, we have managed to retain 100% of the team. And I think that this is something that is commendable, because action has been taken very, very quick. Whether it be a financial or from a business perspective, and everybody has been retained. And I think that this is a fantastic success story. And thanks to Dubai and to how quickly it recovered, we ended up making way more revenues than pre-COVID period, the moment that we started reopening. And you've seen it as well yourself, the post-COVID years here in Dubai, in the tourism and in the luxury industry have just exploded.
Explosion. That's awesome to hear, and very encouraging to also see that there are directors and CEOs out there that care for greater things than, let's say, immediate short-term balance sheet optimization.
100%. It was so well managed, honestly. Very, very well managed.
Awesome. And obviously in recent years, a lot of things have changed. I think we're in this very bizarre and intriguing moment in time where we're having a rate of change far quicker than ever before. Whether that's for good or for bad is obviously subjective and down to the eye of the beholder. How have guest expectations changed in the hotel? Do you see differences, or not just hotel, let's say with the F&B experiences? Is there a difference in the profile of customers that you have? And is there a difference in what's expected from you guys in recent years?
Yeah. I think, look, overall, you have a lot of hospitality related businesses that have not necessarily understood that we are shifting from transactional to experiential. We're not selling just a bed, and this is something our CEO says always very well. We're not just selling a bed to sleep in, we're selling an experience. And the moment you move away from trying to provide transactional to trying to do more experiential experiences. Not to repeat the same word, but this is where you start adding value to the guest. And post-COVID, you can see how big the appetite has been to travel the world, to make sure that you're making the most of your life, to go and spend on travel also, because spend on travel has increased also drastically then. So for me, the profile of the customer and what they're expecting has changed, and we've seen a change. And only the businesses that have managed to kind of adapt and change, the offering and be a little bit more on the experiential side of things, have really managed to make the most of that change and of that shift.
Okay, so people are looking for a more holistic experience.
Experiences. This is not, you don't go to a restaurant just to eat and to leave anymore. This is more about what's going to be the entertainment.
Some people go for the gram,
exactly.
to be able to take a story.
Also very much so. And that's a key part of conceptualizing something, by the way. You have to take this into account, right? We always talk about those Instagram moments when we're designing a new venue or a new hotel. You're thinking, okay, in the eyes of the customer, where are they going to take the first photo, right?
It's interesting because this trend seemingly taking place not just, now you've confirmed that it's happening with hotels, but I speak to friends that are in retail and they are trying to figure out ways in which to shift their shops from a place where you do a transaction. You go in, whether it's shoes or t-shirts, like there's a lot of effort into what music is there,
Absolutely.
how the decor is looking like. I recently interviewed the founder of Hyperspace, who has built a phenomenal space in Dubai Mall, 100,000 square foot. It's like this experiential experience. And he was also mentioning that shopping malls globally are seeing a shift from just providing a retail experience to a more holistic experience. So the amount of space that they're allocating to retail is moving from 20%, is moving from 80% retail to more 50%, with the other, let's say, experiences, F&B, all these things increasing. So it's interesting to see that that trend is not just in your sector, but global trend.
It makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of those luxury retail brands also starting to open, for example, cafes within the retail space. So it's like, because at the end of the day, the more time you get to spend with the customer, the more likely you are to generate an income or to build loyalty, in a sense.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's the same as what we did with hotels. At the end, the more interaction you can have, the more time you can spend with them, the more likely it is that you're gonna get a little bit more out of them, no?
Yeah.
And I think today building loyalty is becoming harder and harder because there is so much choice and people are exposed to so much information. It's very, very easy to jump from one brand to another, right? Whereas before, maybe there was a little bit more loyalty in the proper form. So we see retail brands opening coffee shops. We see them offering exclusive experiences, having rooftop terraces, doing private events, private dinners, and so on, just to try to connect. Again, we go back to this connection that is needed between the business and the customer. And this is happening across the board.
Yeah, you guys obviously have a lot of beautiful locations. There's Aura Sky Pool, which is really, I've never been to anywhere like it before. The only other place that kind of comes to mind that I might be able to compare it with is the Singapore Marina Bay Sands rooftop hotel. Then you have Drift Beach, which is, lovely to spend the Sunday out. Sushi Samba, phenomenal views on a dinner. How do you guys create such unique spaces when this is obviously of paramount importance, creating this unique experience or space?
This all goes down to the vision of the founders, and I think this is what they're incredible at doing, is they have this capacity to conceptualize in a fantastic manner, and I don't think that this is given to anyone. I just think that not only did we have amazing opportunities with the locations that we have managed to secure, but on top of this, the vision and what they can see happen there is what really makes a big difference. And one of the reasons why we are one of the leading hospitality companies today is because of that, because of their vision. At the end of the day, I always say, if you're well traveled, if you've seen what some of the the other brand around the world are doing, or if you go to destinations beyond your own, it's a big eye opener. So if on top of this you already is someone that have a certain level of vision for conceptualizing brands and understanding what customer want, this is the magic formula to do something like what we're doing here.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I have a few friends that are in hospitality that kill it at what they do. And the one thing that I've noticed that I've found in common with them is that they are a consumer of that degree of hospitality themselves. So
Exactly.
it's not a job where they are necessarily learning by doing the job, because that's the case in almost every job. Like in my job, I learn by doing my job. And for a lot of entrepreneurs out there, they would agree with the same statement. But with hospitality, it seems that a lot of people learn how to do those things by consuming it themselves. You know, they love to
100%.
go out, they love to travel, they love to see those places,
100%.
and you kind of poach all the best ideas and make it your own through your own creativity.
100%. And this is a very interesting point, and like it kind of like takes me to, you know, to the Med brand and how things were created and some of the touch points that we utilize within the brand and how close they are to, let's say, my day today or some of the other guests' day today. So you have to yourself live and understand a certain lifestyle to be able to deliver it well. And I think this is a very, very important point you touched on now, because it's very hard to try to explain certain things. You cannot explain them.
No, you have to
live
experience
them.
it. Yeah.
You have to live them. You have to experience them. It's impossible. I cannot sit someone that has, you know, not traveled the world and not stayed in luxury hotels, try to explain some basic things that for us that have had the chance to, it's kind of like common sense. It's extremely difficult. And this is also why, you know, as you grow, the team that you employ and the leaders have to have that understanding and have to really live that lifestyle so that they can pass it on to the team, or at least find the right people to fit within those key positions, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's very much a personality thing, especially in this
Very much
industry.
so.
Now I know next time I see you out and about having a good time, I know you're doing your research and hard work, not just enjoying.
Yeah.
What do you feel separates good hospitality? Like there are so many good hospitality brands in the UAE, especially,
Yeah, it's
or
fantastic,
globally.
yeah.
We were just mentioning, you know, high saturation. What separates a good one from a truly iconic one?
I think all goes back to the experience that you are able to provide. I think, you know, we always talk about those unique selling points when you talk about basic marketing, right? So,
Yeah.
so what are those unique selling points? And they cannot be unique selling points if they can be replicated. So everybody can open a hotel, buy the same bed, design the same room, have the same mini bar. These things can be copied, right?
Yeah.
The things that you cannot copy is the way the staff is going to interact with you as a customer, the type of experiences that you're going to offer, and how you're going to make people feel. If you manage to tackle those things, this is the only way you differentiate yourself from one of your competitor, because it is so easy to just copy and replicate. And we are in a business at the end of the day, like I keep on saying, we're all about experiences, and it's the way we make people feel. So we spend a tremendous amount of time just thinking about that. What do I need to do on a daily basis to make sure that the guests that are getting through the doors are leaving with memories? Because this, you can never take it. You can never take that away from anyone, right?
Yeah.
So it's about creating those unique moments that will stay in people's mind forever.
I love that answer. So you focus on the subjective elements, you know, the feelings,
100%.
the experiences, rather than the objective elements. I mean, you mentioned service. Like for me personally, and I know a lot of people feel this way who travel a lot and who have been lucky enough to experience a lot in life. For me, a key differentiator in whether I have a outstanding time at an F&B outlet or a hotel is the service, because there is like a certain cap in how good the food can be, right? Like there are so many places with incredible food. There is a cap in how nice a hotel room can be, or how nice you can make a beach. And after a while, there is not much difference between the top places because we're talking about degrees of excellence, and then it just relates to choice, like what car brand do you prefer, or
Correct.
what I don't know, watch
What
you
color, or it's a matter
exactly.
of taste at the end
It's
of the day.
subjective degrees of excellence, but with service, I find you have a lot of top locations that struggle to crack the code, and then a lot of people then end up shifting towards places that have just managed to excel and
Correct.
having great service.
And stay consistent as well. Consistency
yeah,
is like
yeah.
is key. I'm sure the places you go to and you enjoy the most are the one that consistently are able to deliver that experience. But I'm fully aligned with you on this. At the end of the day, sometimes you feel there is a sweet spot between how much money you spend
Hmm.
and kind of the feeling that you get out of it. And it's very, very easy to feel like you have overspent for something. And it's very difficult at a certain level of spend to feel that, I've spent a lot of money, but I'm completely okay with that. Because the way you feel when you leave, you don't feel like you've been ripped off.
Very
You
good
don't
point.
feel like
Very
it's
good point.
and this is key, is how you find that sweet spot. So it's almost the basic value for money type of scenario, right? Or psychological price. So what is too expensive for that level of experience, or what is too cheap for that level of experience? And if you nail that sweet spot, then you have a business that potentially can become profitable and can be sustainable.
Yeah.
Most importantly,
I love that you mentioned that, because my friends and I, when we leave somewhere where that's been expensive, we talk about how much we enjoyed it, whether we didn't enjoy it. And we found ourselves in many cases, we leave somewhere where we've spent half the amount, and we leave there being like, oh, this was so expensive.
correct.
There's no point to go there again.
True.
And there are other venues where we've spent double the amount, objectively double, but we leave there not feeling like it's so expensive, because you have the sense of having great value.
Exactly.
And then that, translates into loyalty, repeat customers,
Exactly that.
all those things.
Exactly that.
Yeah. And how do you guys manage to ensure such level of consistency in the venues?
That's a good point, because that's not easy to do. This is, for me, when people speak about luxury, one of the things I always say is that consistency plays a very, very important role there. The advantage that we have is that when something works, and when we have the right people in those places. So let's take, for example, food, right? Because this is something that correlates a lot with quality, right? And consistency is extremely important in food when you go to a restaurant. Say we have a chef that delivers an amazing experience consistently, right? We manage to grow these people internally for them to almost become like brand representatives, or almost like chefs of the brand, so that you go back to having that core person or that core team that has the capacity to pass on that knowledge. Things are very, very structured. Like at the end of the day, when you're in the kitchen, when you cook alone at home, you open the fridge, you throw a few things together, you think you're a great cook, but there's also a lot of science that goes behind it, right?
Of course.
And I think that what we do very well is understanding how to make things simple but extremely, extremely good and memorable. And sometimes it's when you start overcomplicating things that you find yourself having issues with consistency and
Making
so on.
mistakes.
This is how you make mistakes. There are processes. The right people are there. You do things that are simple but really outstanding, and those three things combine give you a level of consistency that is in the top 99% of the places in the world.
Awesome. So to summarize, it's investing in the right people,
Absolutely.
Enabling those people to grow,
Correct.
and simplifying processes, not allowing them to be overly complicated.
Exactly.
Awesome.
How many places you go to, they serve you this these crazy looking dishes and everything is smoking and things like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they don't even taste good at all.
Yeah.
Most of them.
And then so you have to make things quite simple,
Awesome.
but always top quality.
And we've been discussing about how things have changed in recent years in your industry. I want to pick your brain on how you see the future of hospitality evolving. Are you excited about any particular trends or innovations that are going on? How do you see the industry changing over the next couple of years?
Yeah. So at the start, I spoke about this ecosystem of lifestyle, right? So I was saying that as a company and the way we see things is that we have a lot of lifestyle experiences that surround the customer. Today, what we are seeing, and if I take the hotel industry as an example, we are seeing a lot more interest in transformational travel. So how can you go on a holiday and feel transformed when you kind of come back? And we're seeing also a lot of trends related to wellness. And I always refer to it as the detox to retox kind of trend. So we are looking at expanding the hotel business into also the wellness space, where you go on retreats, so longevity type of services. Because when you think about it and when you look at where money is being spent nowadays, and you look at the trends, AI is a big trend. Carbon footprint and carbon emission is another big trend. And then the third one is longevity. Because when you think about it, the people that have a lot of money, they don't necessarily want to die. They want to enjoy their money.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of appetite in understanding how can we push the lifespan of humans. So this gives us an opportunity as hotel industry to tap into that segment and to go and create experiences and have hotels that allow for someone to go there for a week, 10 days, a month, however long they want, spend a lot of money. It's a huge market in terms of what it's worth today. And basically feel like they've spent almost like a year looking after themselves, because you can accelerate that lifespan, right? I don't know if you've watched on Netflix. There is a very interesting show where there is this gentleman and he's obsessed with anything related to longevity.
The Brian Johnson guy.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't watched it, but I will.
It's a bit crazy when you think about it and when you see like everything that he's doing. But when you look at the numbers and what it means, being able to basically slow down aging is an incredible thing, right? So he even wears a Whoop and he has this like 100% sleep performance for like 30 days. Completely obsessed. But it just shows you how big this market is going to become. So for us as hotels to be able to tap into that, it's giving you another piece of the pie, basically. Yeah? So I really see wellness being another segment where hotels will eventually make a move or are already making a move.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure how much details I can give away on the podcast right now, but we've been in touch with members of the government that have noticed that there is a big uptick in the amount of tourism that's coming into Dubai, specifically around the topic or area of wellness. Like, people are traveling here to experience wellness. And obviously, where are they staying? They're staying at hotels. And it's been pushed till later on in the year. But we will be seeing if we can figure out ways in which we can collaborate with Dubai, given our position, with our supplements, to help them and support them in that area of either whether it's not just the marketing, but the execution of elevating the wellness experience for a lot of tourists in the country. And I mean, just interestingly, like, we launched, at the moment we have obviously the gummy vitamins and we have the drink mix powders, and we relatively recently did a pilot project at L'Occitane Cafe, which is a trendy cafe at City Walk, where we just had 4 drinks. 2 of them were mixed with the gut health, 2 of them were mixed with the daily greens, and just those 4 drinks now outsell all the mocktails combined available at the cafe. Through that, we've now signed a very reputable and capable distributor that has probably more access than any other distributor in the country, or top 2, top 3 in terms of hotels, restaurants, and catering. And I'm mentioning that because what I find very interesting is, historically, people would never see a supplements brand accessing hotels, restaurants, cafes. Now we're having and I'm not sure again, if I can mention the names because it's pre-launch, but we're launching in some of the top cafes in Dubai, launching their wellness concept or their wellness with them. We've done that with retail, Waitrose, Spinneys, and a few other supermarkets. We've built the wellness category with them, and that's translating clearly, in the hotel segment. So there's a lot that can be done there, and we are as right as well, trying to do our best.
No, I think it's huge. I think the market is huge, and I think the opportunities for supplements is also huge. There's always been, I feel like there's always been a little bit of like misinterpretation of what supplementation is, and you got a lot of people, especially older generations, that think, oh yeah, but you don't need that. We didn't need it. Why do you need it? And so on. But the world has evolved. We don't live in the same world, right? Pollution's not the same. What we is not the same. Many things have changed. So I think there is a growing appetite in looking after your health, and supplementation in general. I think plays a very, very big role there.
No, definitely. I mean, a lot of people that used to get milkshakes at a hotel are now getting protein shakes. People who used to get, various smoothies mixed with unhealthy ingredients are getting green mix smoothies. People who used to grab soft drinks at the hotel minibar are now looking to grab supplementation revolved drinks. It's a big change in consumer behavior, and I guess that's not just on the products they consume. That translates also into the experience that they're sought after.
Absolutely.
And I guess spa, and you guys, have also a wellness concept. Raise, right?
We have a gym brand and we have a spa brand. So the gym brand is standalone. The spa brand operates in the hotel, and we are opening also a standalone one here in Dubai. So it is definitely something that we have been in, but I think the level where we want to take it is just a completely different gear, right? Because there is also, again, there is this very fine line between the medical side of things and just the wellness side of things.
Yes, it has to be perceived as lifestyle, not medical.
Exactly. It's like you're not checking into a hospital at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right? I mean, even though some of the things that you might receive could be performed in a clinic, let's say, but you are still within that lifestyle environment, so you can still have fun while doing it. That's what I always say. Detox to retox.
Yeah, detox to retox. Yeah, the brands that you guys have under your umbrella, some of them are some of my favorite brands. Like there's Goldfish. I have to say I order Goldfish home probably once a week. Love it.
Fantastic.
Sushi.
What's your favorite dish there?
Oh, I love like basic, but I love it. Like I love the chicken spicy noodles. I love I forgot what it's called, but there are these chicken skewers.
Yes.
And I love the Wagyu burger.
Fantastic burger.
So good. I try and go there. Like the food does taste better when you go there, like it does with most
anything,
with most venues.
Yeah.
But sometimes I struggle to make the time, and
it's in Abu Dhabi now as well. So next time you go to Abu Dhabi, you can.
Oh wow! Congrats! And then there are obviously you have Sushi Samba, which is one of the highest revenuing outlets in the UAE.
It does well, yeah. It does well, yeah.
Drift Beach, as you mentioned, Azure. I mean, I have my list like Met, for hotels, Met, Social Living Collection, Somos, Dining, Sushi Samba, Black Tap, Goldfish, Isola Restaurante, Lamo Bistro del Mare, Mott 32, Day Life, Azure Beach, Amos, Drift Beach, Aura Sky Pool, Nightlife, Dream, Mood Rooftop, Attico, Wellness and Gym, Raise. Like, it's
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. How do you guys manage? Because it's not the same concepts.
No, it's not the same concepts. There are different concepts. I would say 80% of the portfolio is homegrown. It was created internally, with the teams and so on. I think 20% is a franchise or existing brands in that sense. But even when we take existing brands, there is always a twist that gets incorporated. There's always I call it the sunset touch.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that despite having so many brands, or at least it sounds like it, there is still room for more. But that also goes down to understanding for each of the opportunities if it is better to put something that's already there, or if it is better to kind of like create something a bit more bespoke. So it all starts with understanding the piece of real estate that you're working with, and what would be the best business that fits there. So we're not trying to push certain brands at all time and all the time. It has to make sense. And I think this is also one of the reasons why the business is sustainable and profitable, is because every time that something opens, you go in and you're like, okay, that makes sense. You're never entering a space under Sunset Hospitality Group and you feel like, oh, that's weird. That shouldn't be like that. Everything feels extremely natural, because there is that understanding of what the lifestyle customer wants, and there is in the portfolio enough brands to be able to choose what we want. But if we don't feel like there is the right brand for it, then we go ahead and we create another one.
Okay, so you guys have had situations where you open something up and you don't feel it's the right fit.
Or no, it's more so at the beginning, right? So it's like you visit a place with the idea of wanting to open something, right? So let's say I want to put I want to put the John brand inside one of this location, right? You go there, and then when you start looking at it, when you start understanding, etc., a little bit more about the space, how things feel, then you go like, you know what? That's not the right brand for it. Let's either take another one or create a new one, especially for that space. And this is important, because sometimes when you're growing, and especially in the world of franchise, you have certain brand that gets given, and as long as they're getting the money, they don't mind so much. They're happy to see them open a little bit everywhere. But you have to be very, very careful what you open and where, and maintain the positioning, maintain that brand equity that you want to have. So this is something that the team does extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, and you obviously work very hard, given how much scale and growth there's been as hospitality, and it's no question that you have played an integral role in part of that growth. Brushing work aside, what gets you going? When you're not working, what stimulates you? What do you do to unwind?
I think, look, things have changed obviously over the years. I think as we grow, we end up liking and wanting different things. But I think for me, I always go back to some basic things that I love, right? I love to cook and I love to eat. So this works well because it's kind of the industry that I'm in, right? So I spend a lot of time going out, exploring new places, or just going to the same places all the time, just like you do, for me, it's for me that consistency and that quality is super important. But I also cook a lot. I'm also a very social person, so I love to have a lot of people over all the time, and cook for everyone. And I think this goes back to also my childhood and how I've been raised, always having this open door type of house and policy. So absolutely love that. I love sports. I've touched different sports over the last however years I can count. I spent a lot of time doing endurance sport. I did triathlon for 5 or 6 years here in Dubai.
Oh,
fantastic facilities. Used to be a huge part of my life. I would spend a lot of hours in the week, training and competing and racing. And then I've started shifting to some more less time consuming, let's say, sports. So like to play a bit of paddle with the guys at work, and like to explore some new sports here and there. So I think sports and food, which go very well together, because if you do one without the other, sometimes it gets a little bit tricky. And apart from that, just traveling, man. I just love to travel. For me, going to hotels and going to new destinations is something that really excites me. So,
is there any specific destination that you've been to that's left a really lasting impression? Like your favorite city, or it doesn't have to be favorite, like a place you went and you were I
think it's hard
impressed.
Because I've been to some cities where I wouldn't say they're my favorite cities, but I've had such an amazing time that this sticks with me. And then you go to some magical places like the Maldives, and you also have an amazing time there, but it's so different. So for me, again, it goes back to the experience more so than the city. So I wouldn't want to go and say that's my favorite city or that's my favorite country, but I have very specific memories where I can tell you this was my favorite holiday.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, on that point, I can say one of my favorite places in the world is Bodrum.
Oh, cool.
And you guys
very close to my heart.
Exactly. You guys have launched Met in Bodrum, which has been had global recognition. It was honored as the international favorite new hotel at the
Yeah.
Condé Nast Traveler Middle East Readers' Choice Awards. Your hotel in Marbella has, also been very highly ranked on TripAdvisor Traveler Choice Awards. But with Met Bodrum, it was the first
It's
Met.
the first, yeah.
First-
5-year anniversary this year.
Exactly,
Yeah.
first Met. And Met obviously has a lot of big, great plans opening up in other venues such as Singapore, Barcelona, Bahrain, amongst others. Why was Bodrum the first choice for the first hotel for Met?
It was the first opportunity, actually.
Okay.
I think when the idea came to start a hotel division and to really complement that lifestyle experience, like I explained before, there was this opportunity in Bodrum, and we knew back then that Bodrum was on the rise and that there was a lot more demand going that way.
Best timing for you guys.
It was best and worst because it was COVID
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
So it was very, very tricky. But as a destination, let's say, you already had so many luxury international brand, right? We already knew that there was a high level of lifestyle customer going there, right? You think about the CIS market, the GCC market. It was already kind of like well known as a destination. So it was a no-brainer that this would be a good platform for us to launch the Met brand. But it was difficult because it was COVID, right? So we were supposed to open in 2020, ended up pushing to 2021. That was the first season. So already your opening was a bit of challenges, still post-COVID. You have all these regulations. You got to put at the lobby, you got to put like the plastic protection and all of that. Very, very easy. Like it just kills the vibe completely, right? I mean, you're into lifestyle hospitality, and you have to talk to someone behind the glass, right? So extremely, extremely, extremely challenging. Finding staff also extremely challenging. So not the best spot or the best moment to launch a brand, but what it has become today, I think is incredible, and I'm very, very proud of that project in particular, and also of what the brand has become, because we have really managed in such a short period of time to become one of the leading lifestyle hotel in the destination. And yes, you have amazing brands there, top luxury brands and so on, but what we've seen is that the food and beverage experiences that we offer, especially on the beach club side, which is Folly, right? We have this amazing beach club on top of the water and so on. But we have done those daytime cabaret shows and daytime circus shows that now have become overbooked weeks in advance, week on week for the whole season, because people know if I go to Bodrum, I have to go and I have to experience the cabaret show of Folly. And when you manage to position a hotel through F&B, you kind of like realize this was exactly the vision, and to see it happen is a very, very proud moment for everybody. Because we always said, the Met brand, its backbone is the food and beverage, and it's that laid-back luxury type of brand. We didn't have, the vision was always to create something that is luxurious but relaxed, and we call it relaxed luxury, barefoot luxury, however people want to call it. But the idea was really that not everybody that has money to spend enjoys spending money in a white glove type of service place.
Yes,
okay?
definitely.
I think
especially in the summer.
Especially in the summer. You want to go to breakfast in shorts and t-shirts. You want to go in your athleisure clothes. You don't want to feel like you have to put on a shirt and put on some like pants and so on. That's some of the other brands that sometimes you go to make you feel, right? Because it's also the people around. Met is not like that. Met is really, really laid back, yet very sophisticated.
Man, I have to say, you're one of the luckiest guys I know in terms of where you have to travel for work. Like
100%.
if we contrast my work travels and yours, you're going to Met Bodrum,
You go to Marbella, Singapore, I go to Barcelona. No, it's super exciting.
Life could be worse.
Exactly, it's super exciting, and again, we are only at the beginning, where we're taking the brand. I mean, the ambition that we have is big, and we will get there. I have no doubt that we will get there, and we are seeing more and more appetite for that brand and for what it offers, and for Sunset Hospitality Group as an operator as well.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you very much for hopping on Truth Central.
Thanks a lot.
And I wish you and your group all the best of success going forward.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.